Before LeBron James played a single NBA game, he had a $90 million Nike contract, a nickname that he gave himself in a Sports Illustrated cover that called him the Chosen One. He was 17. The hype was not subtle, and he did not discourage it. What followed over the next 23 seasons is one of the more complicated arguments in the history of sports statistics. What did the formula say? Regular season 107.6 net wins and another 19.2 net wins in the playoffs. Combined 126.8, with an average of 4.68 per season, 15th in the database amongst players with 5 or more seasons. His peak season, 11.46 with the 08-09 Cavaliers. His top 3 average of 10.7 is 4th in the database behind Jordan, Wilt, and Kareem. Composite rank, 4th all time. The combined total of 126.8 is 3rd in the database behind Kareem and Duncan. His playoff number of 19.2 is the highest of any player in the database. His per-season average of 4.68 ranks him 15th, pulled down by his rookie year, several seasons on bad Lakers teams, and the natural decline of playing into his early 40s. His top 3 average of 10.7 is 4th. What those numbers describe is a player with a genuinely elite peak and an extraordinarily long career, but whose longevity works against him in the per-season metric. Whether that's a flaw in the formula or an accurate reflection of his career arc is a legitimate argument. He was born in Akron in 1984 to a 16-year-old mother. He moved frequently as a child, attended multiple schools before 3rd grade, and spent a year living with a youth football coach named Frankie Walker, who gave him the stability his home situation couldn't. He was a tight end who drew serious recruiting interest from major college football programs. He could have played in the NFL. He chose basketball. At 6'8" and 250 pounds, he arrived in the NBA, built more like Karl Malone than a traditional small forward. His combination of that frame with guard-level quickness and an elite vertical made him a physical problem that the league had never encountered in quite that form. He could back down centers, run past forwards, and jump over guards. Nobody had a good answer for it in 2003, and nobody's fully solved it in 23 seasons since. At St. Vincent St. Mary High School, his team defeated Oak Hill Academy, ranked number 1 in the country, in a nationally televised game. His high school games were on ESPN. He was on Sports Illustrated at 17. He arrived at the 2003 draft without having played a college game and went first overall to Cleveland, 18 years old, carrying the explicit expectation that he would fix a franchise that had never appeared in the finals. His rookie year produced a minus 2.04. The formula sees a talented player on a 35-win team. His most distinctive skill is not scoring, though he is the NBA's all-time scoring leader. It is the ability to read a defense before it develops and find the correct play before most players have processed the options available. He described it himself: "My game is really played above time. If I throw a pass, the ball will lead my teammate right where he needs to go before he even knows that's the right place to go." This same quality is also the source of his most persistent criticism. Throughout his career, particularly in high-stakes moments, he's drawn accusations of deferring when he should have taken over. Late-game situations where he passed to an open teammate rather than forcing a shot have been replayed endlessly as evidence of a competitive deficiency. His defenders argue the opposite, that a player who always seeks the highest percentage play is doing exactly what you'd want, and that the criticism reflects a cultural bias towards individual heroics over team efficiency. The formula doesn't take a side here. It counts assists and measures the contribution to winning the same way it counts points. His early career defensive reputation was underrated. In his 2008-2009 peak season, his defensive rating was among the best of his career and one of the better marks in the league. He earned 6 all-defensive team selections over his career, finished 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year voting in 2012-2013, a result he disputed publicly, and at his best could guard any position on the floor. Draymond Green, who has spent years competing against him, said he's probably one of the smartest guys to ever play the game. Frank Vogel, who coached him in Los Angeles.
This audio was created with async.com.
Frank Vogel, who coached him in Los Angeles, called him a basketball savant after a game in which LeBron voluntarily took the Giannis defensive assignment while carrying the offensive load simultaneously. The formula has no defensive column besides blocks and steals. It can't measure his positioning, his communication, or the plays he deterred without needing to contest them. What it can measure is that the teams he played his best basketball on were consistently strong defensive units. The causation runs in both directions. His best season by the formula was in 2008-2009, 11.46 on a 66-win Cavaliers team. He was 24 years old, averaging 28.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 7.2 assists. The MVP that year was not a debate. The following season produced 9.55. 2 consecutive seasons above 9 is something Jordan did, Kareem did, Wilt did, and Bird did. Then the 2009-2010 playoffs ended with Boston eliminating Cleveland in the second round. Paul Pierce, Garnett, and Ray Allen. The Celtics' big three had beaten him twice in 3 years. He was 25, the best player in basketball on paper, and had nothing to show for it. In July of 2010, he announced on a nationally televised special that he was leaving for Miami. The decision became the most criticized free agency move in sports history. The owner of the Cavaliers released a statement in Comic Sans font. The public reaction was hostile in ways that surprised everyone involved, or at least everyone who had convinced themselves that a 25-year-old leaving a losing situation for a better one was somehow a betrayal of something. His first Miami season produced 7.8 and ended in the finals where the Mavericks won in 6 games. He averaged 17.8 points in the series and made late-game decisions that looked like hesitation. It was the most scrutinized poor performance of his career. He came back in 2012-2013 and produced 11.08, the second highest season of his career. Whatever 2011 had cost him, it had also taught him something. The Miami version that won 2 championships was more willing to operate in the paint, more physically dominant, less reliant on perimeter improvisation. The formula found 11.08. His teammates found rings. In 2014, he came home. The 2016 championship's the one he claims is his most significant. Down 3-1 to a 73-win Warriors team, a deficit no team had survived in finals history. He delivered 41 points in games 5 and 6, then blocked Andre Iguodala's layup in the final minute to game 7 in a moment that became the defining image of the series. The Cavaliers won. After the final buzzer, LeBron said he considered himself the best player in the world and implied he believed himself to be the best player who had ever played. He was not subtle about it. Some found this obnoxious, others found it accurate. The formula has him 4th, which he would dispute. He won a 4th championship in 2020 in the Orlando bubble at age 35. The seasons since have been uneven. 2.01, minus .75, 1.81, 4, 4.47, 1.55. Still positive in most years, which is an achievement at his age, but far from the player who produced back-to-back 11-plus seasons in Cleveland. He earned his first billion as an active player. His foundation opened the I Promise School in Akron, a public elementary school for at-risk students that's still operating. In 2025, his son Bronny joined the Lakers, making them the first father-son pair to play simultaneously in NBA history. In Paris in 2024, he won his 3rd Olympic gold medal and was named tournament MVP at 39. The formula has nothing to say about any of that. It has 4.68 per season over 23 years, which places him 15th in career efficiency. It also has 19.2 in the playoffs, first in the database, and a top 3 average of 10.7, 4th behind 3 players whose careers are genuinely considered the ceiling of what is possible. Whether he belongs above them is the argument. The formula offers evidence for both sides and declines to resolve it. The database is located at willf123.github.io/NBA-net.wins.
This audio was created with async.com.